All right, welcome back, everybody. We're in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're here with Anthony. How you doing, bud?
Oh man, I just had a nice meal served by the city. Mashed potatoes, meat, bread, a little bit of everything. It was amazing. I just was walking. I didn't know what I was gonna do today. I realized it was Christmas once I looked at my bus pass and it said 25. I'm like, wait, today's Christmas? It just slipped my mind. But
Oh, it's Christmas Day, yeah.
yeah.
You trying to
So,
get to California, you said?
I am,
Why are you trying to get there?
cause out here it's lately it's been really torturous for me.
You want to get out of the sun? Is that bothering you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Well, basically, I just been going through an ordeal with being homeless and being without. Shit, where do we start?
Real quick, do you give us permission to use this video on our YouTube channel?
You have my authorization to use this video to broadcast. Yes.
All right, thank you, Anthony. All right, Anthony, where were you? First of all, where were you born?
I was born in San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. I know San Bernardino really well.
San Bernardino, which is no longer available, but
Yeah, they call it the IE.
yeah.
Yeah, you were born in San Bernardino.
Yes, sir.
What schools did you go to?
I went to about 11 different elementary schools,
Yeah.
2 different middle schools, and 1 high school.
All right, which high school?
The last high school I attended was Barstow High School.
Oh, Barstow.
Uh-huh.
All right. You were raised in San Bernardino or Barstow?
Both. Let's just say I was raised in both cities. I went to school in Barstow, but in the summertime, the whole summer we spent time in Fontana with my grandmother.
Okay. Barstow's a different world.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a little bit of everything in one, but the town was so small when we first moved there. It was about a town of about 1,500 to 2,000 people, so it was a real small town, so everybody knows everybody.
How old are you?
I'm currently now 36. Just celebrated my birthday December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. And then when you were in high school, what kind of kid were you? Were you into sports? Were you popular? Were you a loner?
I was all about fashion. I spent most of my time learning retail outside of school,
Okay.
so that way I could learn some type of business skills. But I usually ate alone. I would get my lunch and go to in the cut somewhere and eat, and stay to myself, go to my classes. The other half of me was just a class clown. I love to make people laugh and just engage in other people's lives, just to kind of like enlighten them. I actually met a lot of people, because it's a small town, a lot of people move to Barstow and then they leave Barstow because it's like on the way to Vegas. People with parents that are barely making it. But school was tough, but it wasn't nothing I really didn't know. It was just a lot of time I spent at home taking care of other stuff, responsibility. So once I got to school, I really dozed off a lot.
Yeah.
But I pretty much learned everything I needed to learn. I'm good with math. That's the basic.
So you graduated?
I didn't graduate from Barstow High School, but I went back online and I took an online course where I received a high school diploma. And then from there, I progressed to two different colleges. And I haven't finished to get my associates yet. I have about 2.5 years of education. I have about 2 semesters I have left to finish to get my associates. I dropped out of college because I had a personal relationship issue. I was working 2 jobs, hustling on the weekends, and I was in a relationship with a male. And
With what?
A guy.
Okay.
And for over a year, and I came home one day on my lunch break, and he was having an affair, and
Oh man.
I was so effed up that I just decided to quit both jobs, dropped out of college, and I just ended up in the streets for a while,
Yeah. If you could go back, what would you do different?
If I can go back, I would have probably quit one of my jobs so I could have gave that person more time, so they didn't feel neglected.
Oh, so you blame yourself for?
I don't blame myself, but I know that we can always do better on our parts when dealing in a relationship, because a relationship is not a job, but it is a responsibility. And if you love someone, you should want to, you should want things to work, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And I only worked 2 jobs because I'm into horses, and so was he. And I had just bought him a horse probably like a few months before that occurred. And the water bill was really high, so I had to make sure I was able to cover the mortgage, the water bill, all the bills, and everything else, because we were staying in his grandmother's house, who had passed away months prior to that whole situation.
Horses, huh?
Yeah.
Barstow has horses.
That was in Lucerne's. Yeah,
Lucerne, that's funny because Lucerne has horse property, so does Barstow, and so does Phelan.
And Yucca
so
Valley.
I was looking at those places for land because I want horses one day.
Yeah, there's a white rescue ranch by her name is Isabel.
Yeah.
She runs a white rescue ranch. It's a nonprofit organization.
Where's that at?
It's in Landers, and oh my gosh, she has over like 500 horses.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, she works with a lot of horses.
That's
I used to go up there and spend like 4 days a week with her.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, she had a horse called Noche. That was
Oh.
my favorite, so I was working the payments on them.
Now, you were raised by both mom and dad?
I was raised by both of my parents, correct?
What kind of parents were they?
Great, phenomenal. No matter what they went through, they worked
Awesome.
it out. They actually split it up after 33 years. I'm 36. And you hear other people going through situations where they're like, oh my God, like, you know, my mom and dad broke up, now I have 2 homes. And you have the sarcastic side saying, oh, at least you have 2 Christmases or 2 birthdays. And I think that's just a way of cheering someone up in that situation. But me being an adult and going through it, and me being the oldest of 7, it did affect me because I sacrificed so much for this couple, and helping my parents and my siblings and keeping them together. I mean, I have 12 evictions in my name year after year for houses I never lived in because I wanted to make sure that they were okay. And it seemed like they eventually gave up on each other. So it did affect me in relationships with other people. And I was down for a while. I started to hate her. I started to hate him. And then I'm like, dude, look, she's with someone. She's happy. He's with someone. He's happy. He just had a baby, little brother, like 6 months. And they're happy. So the fact of the matter is, there's no hate in there. It's all love. And I'm proud of both of them that they still found a way to find someone else. So I'm looking for someone now. But yeah, life is a journey, you know. You have to give your struggles to God and just go on and keep moving forward.
You believe in God?
I do.
Awesome. Still talk to your both parents?
I do.
Okay. When did you come out? Did you ever
Well,
come
I'm
out
actually
to them?
bisexual, but I came out when I was about 18, and my mom's like, "You're not gay. Me and your dad didn't raise you like that." And I'm like, "Mom, what do I have to do?" Like, I said something sarcastic, like, "Suck a penis in front of you." At that time, I was just young and you know, wild and just like trying to get it through her head, like, this is who I am, accept me, I never judged you. From that day forward, we stopped talking for like maybe 2 months. And after that, our bond was just as good as it always was, you know. I love my mom, I love my grandmother, the women in my life I'm connected to, literally my aunties too. I like to go to good thrift stores, I like to go to yard sales, I like to go find old things and make them new. I'm into interior decorating, you know, I like all the feminine touches in life. But I'm still strong enough to build a home, you know?
Yeah. What did your dad think?
My dad really had no say so. Me and his relationship was just like father and son. I'm not like, oh yeah, the Lakers or the Dodgers, but that's the only teams I can name, by the way.
Yeah. So you're not a sports
I love
guy.
those.
Yeah.
But I couldn't name 3 men on the same team. I couldn't even name 1 man per team.
Okay.
Him and my brother had a good thing going with that, and I was just always a mother's boy.
Okay.
But my father, he's a great man. He's strong, he's confident, he's polite, he's decent, he's respectful, he has mindful thinking.
So do you prefer to date men or women?
You know, if they would just get their shit together, I don't really think it makes a difference. I mean, I've had a woman that stepped out on me with a relative, and I've had a man that stepped out on me with a relative.
Slept with a relative?
Yeah, and both of them inherited a child. I
Really?
guess I just inherited international.
Wow.
But yeah, they both inherited a child, and it did affect me. But my mama didn't raise no bitch, you know, so I'm just gonna keep strong and keep at it. And I've been in these streets for almost 2.5, 3 years now, probably a little longer. But as far as sleeping outside and sleeping on the sidewalks, it's been a good 2 years, a strong 2 years.
Yeah.
I've met all kind of people, tall, fat, short. No, that's kidding.
Yeah.
I've met people that are been in the streets for a while. I've met people like me. I've met people that just, you know, they're transforming into being, you know, homeless.
Yeah.
And it could be uncomfortable. And then I know the situation when being in the streets for a long time, some things are just too close to home, you know. Somebody offer you something to eat and they hand you a spoon, a silver spoon, you know. Your chest might start hurting because that's silverware, like that's something you're used to having in a home. And it's uncomfortable to have. Or they might offer you a new blanket, but you're so used to sleeping with dirty blankets that the new blanket, it's like mentally challenging. It's like a force of frustration. So it's all about like how you present things and giving people the time to gravitate to the situation. And I've learned that it's not about just throwing something at somebody and then hoping that they're going to appreciate it. Sometimes you have to spend some time with somebody, get to know them before you can even offer them a gift in order for them to accept it the right way and feel good about accepting it. And a lot of times people expect stuff from you when you're in the streets. Oh, I gave him a cigarette, so, you know, he's going to have to give me something else, or she's going to have to do this if I smoked with her. And it's fucked up because a lot of people aren't like that. So when somebody gives them something, they're like in slavery mind mode frame. They're ready to do anything, and it's like, you know. And then the person said, no, you don't have to do anything. And it makes them feel like they're useless. So it's like it transforms into different ways of thinking and accepting things.
Well, you're obviously a good-looking dude. Do you get propositioned along the street by guys and women?
You said I don't have to answer anything, so I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay.
Hell yeah, I do. I love it. It's like, well, you like me? I stink. Come over here, smell me. You know?
More women or more men?
More men.
More men.
Yeah. I don't think a woman is gonna really scoop that low to try to, you know. I think a woman is more like, if he wants me, he better talk to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm nervous. I get nervous a lot because, you know, we all us men, we want that right woman, that mother figure, that wife figure. When we see her, we want her standing in a wedding dress, and we want to look at her hands and say, oh, I hope my daughter doesn't get her masculine hands. I hope my daughter gets my little hands.
Yeah.
But it's only been that way with one person for me.
Yeah. And then do you do dates on the streets, or you don't do it?
I don't do dates on the streets, but I'll hang out with anyone and get to know them and see what their mind is.
Okay, so you maybe if it's possible relationship in the future.
Yeah, I'm all about building relations with
but
people.
Not
because we can't ship until we both know what direction we're going in. So I'm all about relations, especially since I am all alone.
Okay. So you do get approached a lot.
I have, I do. You know,
any funny approaches? Anything
else? So funny. Like I had this girl, I set my bag down because I dropped my scarf last night over by the Stratosphere. And then mind you, they kicked me out of the Stratosphere. The security goes, I'm at the machine and I put my money in, I'm gambling my $2, you know, that someone gave me. And then he goes, do you have an ID? And I'm like, yeah. So I showed him my ID while blocking my name, you know, my full name, which is AWJ and initials. And he goes, well, I can't see who you are. I said, well, it has my birthday right here and it has my face right here. This is at the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I go, yesterday at 10:35 p.m., you know? And so I go, why does my name matter if you see my birth date in my face? And he goes, okay. I said, you're just trying to figure out who I am by name so that way you can put me out, because it's a lot of hatred going on right now with me and anywhere I go. Yeah. And he goes, I said, I'm Anthony. He said, look, Mr. White, you're gonna have to go. Who told you my last name? I said, you know what, that's really fucked up, you know, that you guys are really picking at me like this. I said, you guys have been paying people to disrespect me, paying people to beat me, rape me. I got beaten and raped and left for 3 days, passed out in Palm Springs. I walked upstairs in an area where a building was deserted, where people hung out. And I remember just passing out, and I was smoking with two people. They left, but I ended up passing out. I don't know what it was. And I just remember throwing up repeatedly, but when I woke up, it was about 3 to 4 days later, and I was nothing but bones. I had no liquids inside of me. I could barely move. I don't know how I rose, and I went to the nearest restaurant. I was so thin and so small. You see, I'm kind of tall. I went through the little square windows where they take orders. I went into that window, got a large cup, got Sprite, didn't rob the register or anything. And then I jumped back out the window, drank the Sprite, and then I passed out. Someone seen me, called the police. And but what happened was I got beaten and raped. I couldn't see out of my right eye. My back was socked in. I couldn't even walk. And the hospital out there actually flushed out my system, and they sent me in a taxi that wasn't marked as taxi, but a stranger, and sent me all the way to Rialto to my grandmother's house, where they laughed when I told them what happened.
They laughed? Why?
I have no idea. It's really sick.
Hello, guys.
And then I went to LA hello and Merry Christmas, ma'am. I went to LA, and then these guys were picking at me. I jumped on the train tracks because that's how I shop for jewelry and stuff, because I can't afford anything. Sometimes you find like a fake necklace or a real necklace. And the guy's like, the lady on the speaker, she's like, get from down there. She watches everything, right? And I'm like, okay, my bad, whatever. And then he's like, did she hear her say get from down? I'm like, dude, I'm a grown-ass man. Who are you talking to? Some black guy. And then next thing I know, he started charging at me, so I ran to my stuff that I set on the side, like as if I was gonna get a weapon or something to kind of defend myself, so he would kind of run the opposite way, but he just charged at me. I didn't have any weapons. I said, bro, I'm not gonna hit you. Everything is on camera. The whole time, the lady's not saying leave him alone or anything, but she's still watching, because, you know, she's watching. Next thing I know, like 5 or 6 other guys jumped up and they started swinging and trying to attack me, and one guy hit me with a bike in the back of my head twice. I made my way to the door where the lady was working, but she wouldn't even open the door for me, nor get on the speaker. Before they got a chance to beat the shit out of me, I ran up out there and left all of my stuff, and I had Gray pearls. I had a lot of stuff because I'm a gold, not a gold digger, a diamond digger.
A diamond digger?
Yeah, so I'll go and I look, like I go to thrift stores, I look in the dirt, like Palm Springs, because it used to be underwater, so you can find a lot of pearls and stones.
Palm Springs used to be underwater?
Well, years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it was.
You know what they're building out there now? I heard they're Disneyland Resorts building some huge community or something like that.
Really?
Out in Palm Springs, yeah.
Yeah, they got so much stuff going on. I'm unaware of all the money that's being invested into the lands, but I am aware of where the money is coming from. Besides that, I've been through hell and hot water, but I'm still here, you know.
Did they catch those people that did that to you?
No, I ended up running down the street, in the middle of the street, all the way to the Union Station, hoping that the police would see me in the middle of the street and ask me what happened.
Yeah.
Never got an authority, no cop came down that street. Once I made it to the Union Station, I passed out for an hour, then I went back up there, and my stuff was tossed and gone, and they stole everything. I told the security guards to let me in, and they're like laughing at me, like, no. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll come back with the real authorities. And when I got to the Union Station repeatedly after going back to Rialto, the officers that was taking my story when I said I wanted to press charges against the city or whatever, the other guy was being an asshole, like, oh, he just wants money. He's just trying to say he was gay bashed or something. And I'm like, you know what, I have money coming. It's not for the money. I said, as a matter of fact, I'm not even gonna press charges against them, and you're an asshole. And then I walked away and I left it at that. But yeah, see.
Have you ever had any homophobic incidents in your life? Someone discriminating against you or
every
threatening
day.
you because you're gay?
Every day, every day. That's what they've been doing. Like the girl last night, I left my bag to go get my scarf, which I thought was like the bus stop, like basically at the corner.
Yeah.
And she came out of nowhere, which I believe the security guards that I got into it with at the casino that I told you about, the Stratosphere, sent her over there. And I'm like, that's my bag. What are you doing, yo? And she was like, what? And she continued to go on my bag, my blue bag. And I'm like, that's my bag. And then she goes, she called her stud, lesbian girlfriend, whatever, friend over. And then she was like, well, what you gonna do? And I'm like, that's my bag, bitch, what the fuck you mean? And so I went around her to get my bag, and she was like, oh yeah, so she started reaching for something. Mind you, by the time I touched my bag, the other girl was like, yeah, I'll pepper spray your ass. And then the other girl had like a crowbar in her hand, the stud one, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe in hitting women. I've only slapped a woman twice. Once before this incident, but she goes and she starts to mace me. She maced me like with a lot of mace, and I'm like, and I can't see, and the girl's charging at me with a crowbar, so I could have grabbed her, I could have squabbed with her, I could have rolled on the ground with her, I just swung to slap her. I didn't sock her, and I slapped the shit out of the stud, and then, because she was charging at me with a crowbar, what else was I supposed to do? I could barely see. And then after that, I started to move in reverse, and she charged at me from one block all the way to the next block in front of the Stratosphere, and nobody did shit about it. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
There's a lot of things that go down in
And
Stratosphere.
then, she took a lot of my stuff out of my bag too when I was getting it. Then after that, I deal with a lot of harassment, and I don't know. I think I partially know why, because I possibly could have inherited a lot of stuff, like a lot of money. I did have a lawsuit against the police department of San Bernardino County because they tried to get me with 3 charges of resisting arrest and assault to an officer, but I wasn't at fault, and it was a whole misunderstanding. And thank God that it was recorded, because I went to trial for 2 years, and I beat my case. I won my trial case, and I had about 3 different judges. I had about 3 different courthouses. I had about 3 public defenders and about 9 DAs that handled my case. And I sued for $1. And I guess it was because of the charge, Rodney King. It was × 3 or something like that. And they gave me a lot of money. Now, I never received a check, but I heard it came to the house because I seen a big lump sum on a number on a check at my grandmother's, but that's not how I was raised to take anything.
Do you currently use any kind of drugs or alcohol?
I was smoking weed like every day. I would do a little bit of something that we smoke when you mix it or whatever. I'm not a big drinker, so if I drink wine, I get really, really tipsy. So I was always like tipsy just to kind of like level out and be comfortable in the streets when I was in the streets. But I don't have any. The only strong addiction I have is trying to find people. The addiction I have is trying to find people that's going through something to heal them, to make them feel better.
That's
like
great.
I attract people that's like, I can see their pain, like a natural healer, like.
So you don't need drugs to survive?
I don't need drugs to survive.
Right,
I need
so
love.
What's keeping you homeless right now?
Not having any support, and not having a place to go, and not following through with the programs that are out there for me right now. There are programs that are out there, But in those programs, I feel like mentally I can't do it because I should be in another bracket right now. There's people in my family, there's people in my life that I know that I've helped extremely.
Yeah.
That should be able to help me just a pinch to get me on my feet. And why they're not, it's a game. And I just don't have time to play it. So I will be where I'm supposed to be soon.
I'm sure you will. If someone's watching this and they have the ability to help you out, or a family member is watching this, what's something they can do for you to get you going, to get you up here?
If someone's watching this right now and they had the opportunity to help me out, I would say, where were you when I needed you? And it's too late because I've already come to a conclusion where I'm helping myself and it's already in process.
Okay.
And it's been in process probably 5 hours before this video has been taken. And shame on you for not helping me when you see me on the corner, when you see me sleep in the bushes, or when you see me behind a dumpster, when you see me in front of a store pet handling it and you know I didn't have any money, but you judge me, but not the right way, and you know that I have heart, and you know that I've helped you and probably your family too. Shame on you. I would say shame on them for not helping me then, and I don't want your help now, but I'm still gonna help you.
What happened 5 hours ago before the interview? You said.
I woke up. I had a nice little nap, and I woke up and I started my day. And today marks the day of Christ, you know, of Christmas, and it's all about love. Today is all about love, and it took me to get to this day to love myself instead of looking for somebody to love me.
Did this interview help you?
This interview has helped me in a few ways.
Can you explain? Elaborate?
It helps me financially to be able to get a bus ticket back to
How
California.
much do you need to get a bus ticket?
I think it's like $40 or $35.
Yeah, we'll help you out with that. Don't worry about that.
Thank you. And then it also gives me a chance to speak. I wanted to be the voice for AIDS, HIV, just the people in the streets, just senior citizens, just everybody. Like, I've always wanted to be the voice to speak for people that's scared to speak. I want to fight for us. I want to help us. I think that everybody in the United States of America, we're royal. We're the richest country, right? We're royal. Now, the royalty is just the riches of the royals. And I think that if we're so royal, why don't we not have a United States citizen check? Just for having a United States birth certificate. I think that senior citizens that are at the age of 70 and over should be getting $15,000 every 3 months to help them, and it's stretched out that way so they don't have to deal about remembering or their family not making it on time because they have their grandkids or their kids and all this. And then I have the setup to where I think every baby from the ages of from the ages of 1 year to 5 years should get $500 a month with a U.S. birth certificate. And 5 years old all the way up to 27 should be getting $3,700 a month. And 27 up to 70 should be getting $5,300 every month. And that's regardless if you're getting SSI or if you're working or if you're getting SSR or, you know, if you're getting welfare, but that will beat the whole welfare thing up. I mean, you know what I mean?
Where do you see yourself in 2 years?
In love, happy, with a beautiful home, and out there in Africa, out there in different countries, helping people and teaching the kids how to build and teaching them how to love. I just need love.
To get going.
When I'm alone in the room, sometimes I stare at my wall and in the back of my head. You know what I mean? Like,
I know that song.
I need love.
That's old school.
Yeah.
What do you have a social media that maybe some of our subscribers could contact you?
siranthonywhite@gmail.com.
What is that again, sir?
siranthonywhite@gmail.com.
Okay. So what do you plan to do when you get to California?
Thank God that I made it.
Yeah.
And go to my grandma.
Yeah, grandmama.
Go see my grandma, go see my mom, and go to the beach.
What's the best thing someone's ever done for you?
Love me, pay me attention, and get to know me and not judge me without knowing. You know, you can judge people and you don't get to know them. You're just overlapping what they're talking about and just assuming, you know, to listen. The most that someone has done to me is actually listen to me.
Okay. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Strawberry.
Morning or night?
I would say night because I feel like I'm the light.
Good one. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is turquoise.
What animal are you?
If I was an animal, I would be a Belizean panther.
Oh, that's exotic.
With a little dot.
Yeah.
Brown one.
Yeah. Are you optimist or pessimist?
I would say I'm past the optimist. A little bit of both.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be?
If I can travel anywhere in the world, like just Earth.
Yeah.
I'm on just Earth. I would want.
Or
I wouldn't want to be alone.
We'll be Mars
That's
soon.
for sure. I would want to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I would like to go as many places as I can in this lifetime. You know.
All right.
Yeah,
If you could have lunch with anybody in the world, past or present, who would it be? You could think about it.
Just one person.
Yeah. Or two.
My mom and my dad.
When's the last time you saw him?
Like months ago. We're
Oh.
not together, but months ago. I haven't seen them together in 3 years.
All right, Anthony, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you
Good
for the
idea.
opportunity to just feel important.
You're welcome, man.
I do appreciate that.
I think you're gonna touch a lot of people, and make sure you watch the video and read the comments.
I will.
Yeah. Any questions for me?
If somebody told you that they were possibly a king or the king, would you automatically hate them more, or would you use the imagination that we are born with, or you know, to say, well, how would you like, you know, get to know them? Like, what makes you king? Would you allow them to would you allow it to break you and block you from what they're saying and just be mad, or would you allow them to like talk to you? Would you still
Express themselves. Talk to me. Yeah.
You wouldn't push them away or say you ain't
No,
shit, you know,
of course
judging them,
not.
right?
No,
Yeah, that's what
absolutely.
I've been dealing with.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Well, thank you so much, Anthony.
No, thank you. And what's your name again?
My name is Ramin, like top ramen.
Ah, Ramin.
Raman.
Thank you, boss.
All right, take care.
I appreciate you.
All right, have fun.